The NFL fears that the Chiefs have their scariest roster yet, and we're going to put that to the test.
You're listening to All Chiefed Up.
What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? How we doing tonight? Good to see everybody. Back with a nighttime live stream. Let's go, baby. So y'all have to like that. We've been doing a lot of day stuff, and Mike's been fixing his house for a few weeks. So if you haven't caught us live yet since all that, we're back. We're back in business.
We're back.
But yeah, we're going to talk about the roster today and how it's shaping up. Obviously, there's like 90-some people on the roster at this time, but we're going to talk about probably the top 60 or so. And is this really one of the scariest rosters that the Chiefs have had, especially in the Mahomes era? We're going to kind of break it down. We're going to grade these guys, and you're going to help. And we're going to see if that's really a thing. Do us a favor. Hit the like button real quick if you haven't. It just takes a second. It'll help get more people in here. We can have some fun. Appreciate you guys. Mike, let the people know what we're going to be doing today.
Yeah, first and foremost, I want to say hello and thanks for joining us. Hit that like button if you haven't already. If you haven't subbed, hit that too. We're almost to 44,000 subs, which is pretty awesome. Steve, no, we are at 44,000. We're almost to 45,000.
Yeah, get it right, Mike.
Even better. So, yeah, we're going to have some fun tonight. I know you guys have seen tier list. I mean, that was a common thing back in the day, but we're going to bring it back. I'll just throw it up here, and you can see what I'm talking about. We got the tier list going. So we're going to have five. We're going to have five tiers, Steve. We're going to have GOAT, the GOATs of the roster, the valuable players on our roster. Then we've got the jury is still out. So those are players maybe like rookies or players like that we just haven't seen enough of to grade yet. Then we got to take them or leave them, which are players that were like, they contribute. It's not the end of the world if whatever. And then you've got the let's move on tier. And
the Sky Moore tier. Why didn't you just name it that?
I could have named it the Sky Moore tier. Let's just be honest. Everybody's going to say, let's move on there. But we've got a little bit of dialogue we're going to have back and forth. And believe me, I know people's going to have favorite players, and they're not going to like where we put these tiers, Steve. And you guys can chime in. You guys can donate.
That's the fun part.
Sway our tier system if you want with donations. Do what you want to do. I don't care. We'll listen to you, and we'll take in your guys' accounts. But, Steve, by no means would this be a knock on anybody on our list. We love every one of these players, but sometimes you got to take a hard look at your roster. And believe me, Brett Veach, Andy Reid, all these guys are doing this every single day. This is how you bake iron sharpened iron. You've got to get the best of the best. And when it's got to get down to 53, you've got to do this kind of stuff.
Absolutely. One of the favorite comments that I had on our last video was from our boy K. Wayne. He said that this is how you get a better roster, is having good camp battles. Like, good people, make them battle for their positions, make them earn it, and that's how you end up with a really good roster. And that's just what it is. And I have heard a lot that this could potentially be the best roster for Patrick Mahomes. If you look at the offensive weapons, Mike, he's got more offensive weapons now than he ever has. Yeah. So I think that it's fair to say that for some people. And then the defense, it's still kind of up in the air, but I feel like Spags has had them in the top 5 in the last 3 to 4 years. So I think they're still going to be a top defense in the league. So I think all in all, this could be the best roster, but let's go ahead and get started, man. We'll just go. Yeah. We have over 50 to 60 players here to do this for. So let's roll it out. Let's see what we're doing. We're starting with the punt god, Matt Ariza.
We can either go through the list or we can just go by positions. You want to go? Let's do special teams first. Let's knock special teams out of the way. So Ariza, Steve, is he a GOAT? Is he valuable? Is the jury still out? I don't think the jury's still out on Ariza. I think we know what we get with him. You could say take him or leave him. If you're like, hey, look, he's not the greatest punter I've ever seen. We could pick one up off the street and he'd be fine. Or you say, look, I don't like him. Let's move on. Where do you think you throw in punt god right here?
Man, this one's actually kind of a tough one right off the bat because I think Matt Ariza has a big leg. He probably kicks more, further, more hang time than most of the punters in the league, but he has a terrible time placing the ball. I noticed all last year, he's not very good at, coughing corners. He's not very good at keeping it out of the end zone. He don't have that. It's a lot of touchbacks with him.
Yes.
I think it's kind of this and that. I would say he's valuable because he is one of the better punters in my opinion. But honestly, I think that they have like a UDFA on the team right now that they're talking about maybe challenging him for the position.
Right.
And then I think we saw that last year too. I can't remember the kid's name, but I think he was a K-State guy. I can't remember.
or something ended up
Yeah,
going
yeah.
to the Bengals.
The Bengals.
Steve,
Yeah,
you're saying
so-
exactly what I'm saying. The way you just laid that out about he doesn't have like the specific touch. He can boom it, but there's still some things there. We seen one season of him last year. It wasn't the worst. It wasn't the best by any means. I think with Ariza going forward, the jury's still out with Ariza. Does he have a better season this year to get a longer contract, do you think?
Right.
Because I wouldn't say take it or leave it, and I don't think he's in the valuable category. I don't think a punter on this roster could be called valuable.
Right. Well, I was kind of leaning towards to take him or leave him because I thought maybe there's some other punters that could still do the job. But I'm going to go with you. Jury's still out. I'd like to give him one more year here, see if he can get a little bit more touch on the football and get to that valuable category there. Let's move on.
I like it. So Butker's the next one up here, Steve. And Butker,
Goat.
I'm probably throwing Butker in the GOAT to the valuable
Butker's a goat.
list right off the rip.
Butker's the best kicker in the league. He was the best kicker in the league for the last 2 years, even with Justin Tucker before all the whacking and stuff. I think that Butker is just that guy. And as far as the Chiefs go, name me one kicker that's ever done more for the Chiefs than Harrison Butker. That guy's had ice cold blood in his veins. He's won us Super Bowls. He's won us AFC Championship games. This guy's insane. His balls are huge. He has to wheel them around in a wheelbarrow. I love him. He's a GOAT. I don't think that's even a question
I think you
here.
could call him GOAT. But also, I think valuable could be in play here because you've seen in the weeks Butker left. We pulled a couple guys off the street, Steve,
Not
and
the
they
same.
were still out there bombing
Not
kicks.
the same, dude. These guys.
I don't even think the guys missed a kick while Butker was out.
I can't remember
Did they?
which one it was, but they like doinked one in for a win. The guy looked terrified, like he was about to shit his pants. That's not GOAT level like Harrison Butker. Harrison Butker is a breed of his own. It's GOAT. I don't care what anybody says. I don't think anybody in the chat would argue with me.
Let us know in the chat, is Butker GOAT or is Butker valuable? Just throw it in the chat. Give a GOAT or valuable, a G or a V. I'd love to see it. Steve, I'm with you. I'd have no problem putting him in the GOAT category, but it's tough to say a kicker's a GOAT. I mean, we could go back to the
his
Elliott
position,
days, and I would love to have a GOAT.
Dude, honestly, when it's all said and done, Harrison Butker's going to be one of the best to ever do it. I mean, he has more clutch kicks than just about anybody. His percentage is through the roof. I think it's an easy GOAT here. Like that.
Okay, let's throw him in the GOAT category. Okay, let's go ahead and get James Winchester, the long snapper, Steve. I'm going to throw Winchester up here just so I could. I'm not going to keep him here, and the jury's still out. But this is where I'm just going to put him for now. The jury's not out on Winchester. Winchester is valuable in my opinion, but at the same time, do you really need Winchester on the roster to have
for the sake of moving this along and not spending too much time on a long snapper, I'll say he's valuable. I think he's been there forever now.
Yeah,
he's always been solid. There's no such thing as a GOAT long snapper, so we're going to stay at valuable and let's move on to the next.
Let's go valuable. Okay, let's start at the quarterback position, Steve, and wherever Patrick Mahomes is, I'm having a hard time finding him on this ginormous list of 60 players.
Where you at, buddy?
Where you at, Pat?
Bottom left. There's the GOAT.
Where you at, buddy? Oh, I can see him. Okay, well, we all know where Pat's going. Pat's going on the go, and he's above Butker here. Sorry, Butker.
Of course.
That's just the way that one's going to be. And so that brings us to Gardner Minshew. We don't even have to have a talk about the GOAT. Gardner Minshew, Steve.
The jury's still out for the Chiefs, right?
I think the jury might still be out. It would either be there or take him or leave him because do we really use the backup quarterback?
But we've had to. We actually have had to a couple times. And I think if it does come up this season, that's when we'll find out about Gardner Minshew because I actually like the way Gardner Minshew plays football. I think it kind of fits with what Andy Reid does, and I think that he's just kind of a gunslinger. So I think it could be a valuable piece maybe as a backup, but we don't know yet. So I'd go jury's still out.
Okay, I like it. Let's move on to running back here. So let's start with the running backs. Let's go. Let's start with not Pacheco. Yeah, let's go ahead and start with Pacheco. Where do you want to put Pacheco here on this list? Do you think he's the jury's not? Is the jury still out on Pacheco because he can't get this vision under control?
I don't think so. I think we go ahead. I think that he gets the nod to valuable, and I'll tell you why. Like, first of all, what he's been able to do as a 7th-round draft pick, you cannot argue with. You've got your money's worth by far. The kid's won Super Bowls. He's done what he's needed to do. He runs hard every time he touches the football, 110%. He brings all the energy, all the attitude.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here, though, because he wasn't the best back on the team last year. A 30-year-old Kareem Hunt coming off the couch was
all right,
the better back.
Devil's advocate.
But this is so.
He also had a broken freaking ankle.
I
man.
still don't know if you consider him valuable because Brent Veach may not even lock this guy up after this season.
Well, that's fine, but he's still going to be valuable for someone. I mean, honestly,
you could say
I think that Isaiah
valuable.
Pacheco
I think that's
is
reaching
valuable
a little bit.
I don't think the jury's still out, and I don't think he's a take him or leave him. I think he does have some value. I think that you're going to see Isaiah Pacheco get a bulk of the carries if he stays healthy this year. He's going to be in his contract year. He's going to have a good year. He's got to make his money either in Kansas City or somewhere else. So he got to prove himself this year. Last year, I don't think it's fair to talk about Kareem being better than him last year because he was. It's not arguable.
Steve, we talked about it time and time again.
But
when the offense had Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt just looked like he fit that offense.
Also, Isaiah Pacheco was nursing a broken ankle for the last few weeks of the year. Coming off of that, I don't think that's fair to do to him.
But Pacheco has limitations as a running back. We can't argue that. You can't deny it. He's got tons of limitations as a running back. This is why everybody's so hyped up on a 7th-round pick to Brashard Smith.
All right, well, okay, let's do this then. The jury is still out. We'll give him his contract
valuable.
here.
I think he would be a tier below valuable. And since jury's still out, the only reason I would say jury's still out is because, look, if he comes out this year and he shows the same vision issues and the same injury issues, then he's gone. He's like on the fence, right? But if you come out and you show you get better, maybe he signs long-term with the Chiefs and he falls into the valuable category.
Sure. Sheriff says it best in the chat. Prove it year for Pacheco. So
That's
I mean,
what I think this is.
Let's
Steve.
go
so
for it. Let's
give
put him
the
there.
First guy on jury's still out.
I think he's borderline valuable, but I think he's got to prove
I'm
it
with
this year
you.
too. So let's
if
do
there
it.
was if there was a category between valuable and valuable, say value almost valuable, we would go ahead and do that. Okay, so that brings us. Let's just go ahead and hit the 7th-round pick here, Brashard Smith, Steve. Obviously, the jury's got to still be out.
Yep.
There's just no debate here. The jury's out on him.
Right.
Let's move on to the next one. Let's see. We've got Carson Steele in here somewhere.
Okay.
Here's Carson Steele. I think the jury's still out on Carson Steele, to be honest.
Yeah, I think so too. I would almost put him and take him or leave him, but I don't think he got a fair hack at it. He had a really good preseason. He was doing okay at the beginning of the season. He had 2 fumbles, and that kind of, hindered what he was able to do the rest of the time. That kind of took some of his opportunities away after that. But if you go back and watch those 2 plays, Mike, I don't think that either fumble was Carson Steele's fault. I think he was holding the ball high and tight. I think he's doing what he's supposed to do, and the defense made good plays. It was just kind of unfortunate for him. So I'm okay with having him and the jury still out.
Yeah, I am too. I think that's just a good spot for him just because he was a UDFA, and he's got to have some time to develop. So that brings us to the last running back we've got on the list, which is Elijah Mitchell, Steve. And we've not really seen a lot of Elijah Mitchell. But could you also say, hey, take him or leave him? Elijah Mitchell's kind of just going to be, maybe he's just a guy here for a year or two and he's gone.
Well, I think that Elijah Mitchell's been good when he's healthy. You saw that in San Francisco. I think what he does kind of fit what Andy Reid likes to do with his running backs. So I think he's put him in the jury still out. We'll see what he can do in our offense.
Yeah, I think you got to put him in kind of the same boat you put P. Ryan in last year. Like P. Ryan, we were hyped up about P. Ryan. We thought he could do good things. He didn't get a lot of play. And then late in the year, he started to develop more play, but it wasn't enough to result in him being in KC long term. And I feel like Elijah Mitchell's right there. Can he stay healthy? Can he turn into that Jerick McKinnon role? Can he be better than Jerick McKinnon, with like maybe more carries or something? So I'm with you. I put him in this tier for sure. Let's go ahead and move on to tight end. Let's just move on to Kelsey and put him in the GOAT category. There's hands down, Kelsey's going to the GOAT category.
Of course. And above Butker. Yes. Right there.
Right. So that'll bring us up to Brenningstool. Brenningstool, I think jury's out on Brenningstool.
Right. Any rookie is going to go in the jury still out. You could have almost made its own tier for rookies, but we'll just put it in the jury still out.
Right. I'm with you, but, it's one of those things where this was pretty difficult to put together, to be honest. I had to go online and grab 60 pictures and upload them. Okay, here we go. Let's find Jared Wiley. Where's Jared Wiley? Let's talk about Wiley a little bit and Noah Gray as well. So let me find. Okay, here's Noah Gray. Let's talk a little bit about Noah Gray, Steve. Do you think the jury's still out on Noah Gray, or would you say Noah Gray was valuable as a tight end 2 in this league? Because if Kelsey were to be injured, I trust Noah Gray.
Noah Gray's valuable, no questions asked.
I think he's valuable too.
I don't think the jury's still out on Noah Gray because if you watched him at the beginning of the year when they were actually utilizing him, he was doing things that Kelsey has done before. I think that, he had a couple of 2 touchdown games, I think. Like, the kid can play football. He's been behind Kelsey for 3 years now. He knows what to do.
Is it wild that we're going to throw him in a valuable category?
No,
and
it's
Pacheco
not.
in a jury still out category.
No, that's not wild. And the thing about it is, about time says we're disrespecting Pop, and I almost agree with you. Like, I think he could have been in the valuable, but I think Noah Gray goes in the valuable because I think he can do it. If he had the opportunities, if it's his time to shine, Kelsey steps down, I think that Noah Gray is going to be good. So I think he's very valuable.
Here you go. Steve, can you throw up a poll? Let's do a poll on Pop and let it run for a few minutes. And if we need to move Pop to valuable, we will. But I'm telling you, a lot of people at the beginning put him in the jury still out. They said it was a prove it year. So it's wild to put Pop below like a James Winchester and a Noah Gray. But to be honest, Pop at the running back position compared to what Noah Gray would offer you if Travis Kelce was injured,
That's different.
it's a little different.
That's
it
different.
really is. This is why it's very valuable to have that. So while you're doing that, let's just move on to the last tight end on our list. That's Jared Wiley. Steve, honestly, Jared
Jury's
Wiley is
out.
the jury's out on Wiley. We
Absolutely.
just don't know there. I'm going to go ahead and put him above Brenningstool for sure. Well, like once we get to this jury's out category, it's going to be super hard to start ranking these guys. So I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
Let's move on to wide receiver. Let's go wide receiver here, Steve. Let's have some fun with some wide receiver. I'm going to go down the list here. Who's the first wide receiver I see? Hollywood.
Hollywood.
I think Hollywood's a valuable piece to this team. 100%. I think Hollywood's valuable. I think
Well,
he's
let me
more
play
valuable
devil's
than Noah
advocate
Gray.
here. Let me
Go
play
ahead.
devil's advocate here. How is he more valuable than Noah Gray when you don't even know what he can do?
That is true.
This kid was hurt all year last year. We got a small glimpse of it. He did give a spark to the offense, but not because of his production, more just him being on the field. I would tend to think that he might fall into the jury still out category. And Noah Gray being invaluable makes more sense because we already know Noah can do the job. We already know he's valuable
Okay.
if Kelsey goes down.
I hear you. So I'll play devil's advocate. Back to your devil's advocate. We know.
enough.
Hey,
It's enough of that.
We know that when Marquise Hollywood Brown was healthy, he was going to be very much an integral part of pushing this down the field. They sought after him. He was a Patrick Mahomes security blanket there in the offseason last year. They were starting to develop a nice little repertoire together. And then he gets injured. You see the offense stutter and struggle all year. And, of course, Rashee Rice was part of that. But when he came back, you've seen the offense start to click back over a little bit. And if we would have had that line taken care of, Steve, I think he'd done a lot. I think he would have moved our offense a lot valuable going forward, in my opinion. But I get the jury's still out argument because we didn't see we didn't see the way.
Right,
it
I
could
just
go.
want to get to the chat for just a couple seconds.
Go for it, man.
Nikki says, how is Hollywood more valuable than Pacheco? Perfectly fair argument there. How do you even say this? Chamasiro? Either way, Hollywood's still out. Haven't seen him play much. I think that's fair as well. Janae says Pop's valuable. Kay Wayne said I'm the devil. Let's see. Let me keep going here. Peter Ortiz said, what the hell, Mike? He's not having your crap today, Mr. Devil's
which
Advocate. I don't know. Either one. Take it or leave it. Sheriff says Hollywood valuable, at least because of his past experience with the other teams. Kyle says Pop is definitely valuable. A very big injury is tough to recover from and be 100% during the season. Yeah, man. So I think this is a fair argument here. I tend to put him in the jury still out. I don't think I've seen enough from him yet.
Ron's got it, man. You're 3 years in. His vision ain't changing.
Yeah.
I think we see what we get with Pacheco. Is it enough to be that long-term answer? I don't know. And the fact that you could have brought in a Kareem Hunt off a couch and he made this offense tick and he looked a lot better in the offense than Pacheco kind of leads me.
I wish I knew what Peter was talking about right now. He's not having it today with you.
I don't
He said
know.
you're sniffing paint. Stanley says he will still pull a double team, so that's still a valuable asset. I don't think that Hollywood Brown's going to garner a double team every play. I don't even know if he ever
You don't
does.
think if he's super healthy, though, and him and Patrick get on the same page, that and of course you got to protect Patrick. This all goes hand in hand. You can't just say Hollywood's, whatever. I think Hollywood's got to be valuable. That was Brett Veach's number one goal, was to get him re-signed on this team. You think Brett Veach thinks the jury's out on Hollywood, or you think he's going to go pay him?
Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. Put him in the jury, still out. I'm about to close this Isaiah Pacheco poll. So if you haven't voted on it, you have about 20 seconds to vote on the Isaiah Pacheco poll. So get up there, make your vote, and then we're going to put him. And then I'm going to make one for Hollywood, and we'll move on, and I'll do the same with that.
Okay.
Okay, so y'all go ahead, get your vote in. Hurry up. Takes 2 seconds. Click up at the top. Click if you think he's valuable or jury's out on Isaiah Pacheco. Like I said, I'll give you about another 10 seconds or so.
Nobody is wrong here with their opinions. 100%.
No, absolutely not.
Every single person can make a valid argument, and there's Steve, you made valid arguments. I've made a valid argument. Peter thinks I'm sniffing paint. That's true. I've been painting the house.
I love it.
But look, here's the thing. you can make arguments over all these guys, and I'm telling you, at the end of the day, it doesn't mean we love or hate certain players. It doesn't mean we're going to not cheer for them just the same. Like, this is just a good conversation to have to show how deep you really are.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's the whole beauty of it. It's just the discourse, right? Like having the conversations.
Yeah, it's great.
A lot of people don't like that. They get butthurt about it, and they're like, "Oh, you're so negative." It's like, just shut up. Let's be adults and let's talk about this.
Yeah, we're
stuff.
being adults. We're
I'm going to
talking
go ahead and
football.
end this poll because it's not particularly close right now. Anyway, so I'm going to end it. Isaiah Pacheco goes to the valuable category by 67%. 65%, my bad.
And I'm going to go ahead and throw him over Winchester then, for sure.
All right, so let's get a Hollywood Brown poll going. Peter says we should poll Noah Gray, so I wonder which way he's leaning on that one.
I bet a lot of Chiefs Kingdom isn't thrilled with Noah Gray.
That's strange to me. I feel like what they saw of him
kinda
early in the season.
odd that if Kelsey were to have a bad season, everybody would be comfortable with Jared Wiley and Brenningstool, who we haven't even seen play a snap
Absolutely
yet.
not. Absolutely not. Jared Wiley is definitely the jury's still out
No,
on him.
I feel like Gray's got enough chemistry with Mahomes that you wouldn't really see too much drop there, in my opinion.
No, I mean, honestly, I think that he's been in behind him for 3 years now. He's been learning. He has a similar game and skill set to Travis Kelce. And I think that Noah Gray, if he had the opportunity to be that number one guy, I really think he could flourish. And I think Mahomes would like him too. I think they have some chemistry together. Mahomes throws to him on very critical third downs all the time.
There's been games where he's actually like,
Was it the playoff game against the Texans where he made a bobbling catch for basically to cap the game?
Do you remember the game back with the Jets when Mahomes was kind of outplayed by the quarterback that
Zach
sucks,
Wilson?
Zach Wilson, but he threw a nice ball to Noah Gray that turned out to be like a big time score for us. So let's move on. While you got the poll up by Hollywood, let's go ahead and move on to another wide receiver, Juju. Steve, I'm just going to bring him up here, put him right here. It's not going to be there.
Obviously, the jury's not out on Juju. We know
No,
what
the
we
jury's
have.
not out. For me, I'm in the take it or leave it category with Juju because I do think he is valuable per se. If you were to have a lot of injuries, he's a nice guy to have there in the room. Maybe he's a valuable leader in the locker room. Maybe if you want to say that, like he could teach the rookies and the young people. But he's been in the locker room now with Sky Moore, and he hasn't helped develop Sky Moore. He's been in there with Justin Ross. He's not really developed Ross. So how much?
It's
does
not
Juju
his
help
job to develop those guys.
That's true, but you always talk about a veteran helping rookies come along,
And I think
young
he
guys
can
come
if
along.
they are helpable. And that's
Okay,
the
I'll
thing.
give you that.
I'm going to have him in the valuable category, so I'm going to
That's
argue
wild.
for that one.
I would put take him or leave him on Juju Smith-Schuster.
I think he's valuable. I think you're looking at a young wide receiver room. We're talking Rashee Rice in his third season. He was injured for most of his second one. You're looking at the sophomore season for Xavier Worthy. You're looking at the first full season that Hollywood Brown gets to play in this offense. You're looking at a rookie with Jalen Royals. But you got Juju, who's had 2 years under his belt in this offense. He was injured very little, I guess. He wasn't very out a whole lot, I don't think. I think he knows the offense well. I think that he is kind of a security blanket for Mahomes sometimes on third downs. He can move the chains. I think having that veteran presence in the locker room with that young wide receiver room, I think that's a valuable piece.
I mean, you could maybe make those arguments, but the fact that a guy that has 18 catches for 231 yards, you're calling him valuable, is wild to me.
100 and something was in one game.
Exactly. So take that game out, and he's got 9 receptions and 100 yards for the whole season, and it's tough for me to say take it or leave it on that. Like, I don't know. I get the point that he is a...
It's also about the volume that they are able to get. If he doesn't get the targets, then what does it matter?
So how valuable is he
How
then
did
if
he
he
cash
doesn't?
in on his targets? Like,
That's kind of
how many
my
times
point.
was he
Like,
thrown to?
I think we're making each other's points, and this is where it's tough. Like, you're taking the point that, he's good to have there in case you have injuries. My point is he's just really stuck down on the depth chart, and who cares? Xavier Worthy outperformed him last year, who was a rookie. So who's to say
Right.
Jalen Royals couldn't do that this year?
Well, Juju does a lot of stuff that people don't watch or see or care about,
I
like
fully
blocking.
understand.
That was the only thing that kept MVS around so long. He was not a good receiver. He couldn't catch shit, but he would get out there and block and do some things. And that's what Juju does too. But Juju can also catch the football. So, I mean, I don't know.
How about
this one's a big time. I'm not for sure.
Close your Hollywood Brown poll and start a Juju one. I didn't think Juju
Start
was
a
going to be so
Juge poll.
controversial. I thought he was going to be the first in the take it or leave it category, but apparently Steve thinks he's super valuable.
Well, apparently I was wrong on Hollywood Brown. 59% are going to say valuable.
I
I
too.
think the jury's still out on that kid, in my opinion.
I
But
don't. I think
in
he's
this
more
offense,
integral to our offense.
even
right
throughout
now.
his entire career, he's been injury prone. It's really hard to get your
Maybe
thumb
so,
on him
but
and know what you got.
Andy wanted to center the entire offense around him last year to the point that when it was just Rashee Rice, that was okay. But when Rashee left, there was nothing. They had to resort to Juju, which now makes him valuable.
I don't see how Juju's not valuable. Like, I understand what you're saying. He kind of could fit in both, I would say.
Yeah, but you don't have them both, so
But I mean, I get the argument.
I'll put him in valuable.
Yeah, I put take it or leave it in the poll instead of take them or leave them. So y'all know.
Yeah,
what
you're
I
fine
meant.
with it. Okay.
Hey, real quick, we got a 10 bomb from Kyle. Let's go, baby. He said, I would love to get a full season of this wide receiver group healthy because I think it could be explosive. I'm right there with you, Kyle. And I think that's kind of what brought this whole conversation up today was this could be the best Chiefs roster to date. Like
Yeah.
for Patrick Mahomes era.
We're about to find out. We're putting a lot of players in the valuable
And
category
Mike,
so
if
far,
it's
Steve.
the best roster to date in the Patrick Mahomes era, which is far and away the best era of Chiefs football, would this make them the most talented, well-rounded roster ever for the Chiefs?
Yeah.
Could you have that argument? I don't know. That's why we have to talk about this right now. That's why we're going player to player.
Hey, Kyle, I
But,
appreciate that 10 bomb, brother.
yeah, it goes a long way. Appreciate you, my man. Thanks for the support. And I think this wide receiver room could be special, too. They're very young. They have a lot of work to do. And hopefully all the pieces can kind of mold together. But Patrick Mahomes has got to get out of his head, too, and start slinging the football to give him opportunities. So we'll see what happens.
Okay.
All right, man.
Well,
I got
let's
the
move
Juju
on.
poll up, by the way, so go vote on the Juju poll.
You've got Juju going. Let's find another wide receiver here. All these players are starting to mold together. I see Xavier Worthy. I'm going to throw Xavier Worthy to the valuable category by far. Xavier Worthy's valuable to this roster because of his speed and the way they were able to use him. I think automatically having that big second half in the Super Bowl, Patrick Mahomes still trusts him. He's got to, like you said, he's got to stop aiming the ball. He's got to throw it out there and give him a chance. I think Xavier Worthy, after 1 year, proved that he was a hit at wide receiver. He wasn't a bust like everybody thought. He put the stuff to rest. Turns out the offseason issues really wasn't issues. So he seems to be a good kid. I think he's in the valuable category already.
Not
I
very
think
good at
he's a valuable
picking
wide receiver.
lady friends, but other than that, he's been doing okay, right?
Yeah, I think he's valuable. And I would almost say this is where it gets hard. Is he more valuable than Marquise Hollywood Brown? Because you got to say Brown was injured last year, and he was by himself, but the offense still struggled.
I'm gonna go with Xavier Worthy being valuable, and I'm gonna have him above Hollywood Brown. And I'll
Okay.
tell you why.
I'll let you have that.
I mean, we traded up and used first round draft capital on this kid.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, man, there were a lot of doubts.
Is he more valuable than Noah Gray?
I even had my own doubts.
I'm going to say yes.
I'm going to say yes too, but I think he proved everybody wrong. I think that he can run the routes. He can do the things that he needs to do. He's not going to take plays off when the ball's not coming to him. He's put in good effort. He stayed healthy, and he performed. That back half of the season, man, was pretty impressive. It was almost as impressive as Rashee Rice's back half of his rookie season. I think that this kid could be a great piece for the Chiefs going forward. And like you said, that speed, that's valuable in itself for the Chiefs, right? Because that's what they value is speed. He's the fastest guy in football.
Yep.
So I'm putting him there. I don't think there's any argument, really.
Okay, awesome. Well, in the poll on Juju, so we can find out where we're throwing this bad boy, and then we'll move on to we have
Ooh,
one
it's
more.
so close. Get your vote in if you haven't. Get your vote in if you haven't. I'm giving you 10 seconds.
Uh-oh, you must be losing.
No, I'm not losing. Oh, well, yeah, I guess technically. No, I just wanted to see. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. End poll. Dun, 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 dun. Juju is take it or leave
Take it
it.
or leave it.
51%. That's
Okay, so
close,
he's
man.
dude. Okay, look, so that just
That's
proves,
okay. I'm okay with that.
Doesn't that just prove exactly what we sat here and debated? Like
Yeah.
it's right on that line.
Yeah. I'm
let's
okay
do
with either way with him.
Let's do an easier one. Rashee Rice. I think Rashee Rice is already in the GOAT category with the Chiefs.
GOAT? That's insane, bro.
With the Chiefs right now, he is GOAT.
Mike, I'm sorry, but I'm looking at maybe I'm looking through a different lens, but
you are
think
totally.
he's greatest of all time wide receiver for the
I'm
Chiefs.
not talking. I mean, on the roster this year, yes, we're doing this year's roster. He is a key integral part of this entire team. You are losing this battle big time.
He's valuable. He didn't go. That's
You are
wild.
getting destroyed if you put that in a poll, Steve.
I'll
Everybody
poll
will
it.
vote GOAT.
I will
me.
poll it. There's no way he's a GOAT, dude.
He is a GOAT
He
on
played
this roster.
one. He played 1.25
On
seasons.
this roster.
He
through
also
4
got in
games
trouble in the
last year. He is a
offseason
GOAT.
and potentially hurt the team by being careless. I don't
He is
think
a
you put him in the
GOAT.
GOAT category. That's insanity.
You don't think he's one of the top 5, 6, 7 most valuable players on this roster? You're out of your mind.
He's
Look
not
at
a
our
GOAT,
offense.
though. I'm okay with saying that he's one of the best ones on the roster, but he's not GOAT category. There's
He's not-
nobody on this team that's GOAT category besides Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Harrison Butker, and Chris Jones. No one else even makes the GOAT category.
Are you
bro.
talking like we're talking about this specific roster for this
Yeah,
specific year?
but you have to compare the roster to past rosters,
No, you
right?
don't.
There's no other way
I
to do
want to
that.
talk about this season.
Okay, well, even this season, I don't. That's nuts to me.
You don't think to me that if Rashee Rice were to play this season, the offense would look a lot better than if Rashee Rice set out the entire season?
Sure, it
He
would.
is
That's why he's
very-
valuable.
No, he's a GOAT legend because when him and
You're
Mahomes are
crazy,
on,
dude.
he's taken over what Kelsey was able to do in the first 4
You're
to 5
crazy. We're
games.
polling this one because I think you're out of your mind right now. If Tyreek Hill was on the team and you want to put him in the GOAT category, that's fine because he
I don't
holds
think
all
so.
the records for Chiefs wide receivers, right?
Look.
So that's different. But we've seen a year and
I
a
don't care.
quarter.
I've
a
seen enough of
year
Rashee
and a
Rice in
quarter.
this offense.
Also,
Steve,
you have to
know
consider.
that I want this kid.
You have to
on
consider
this
the
team.
off-field issues. You have to consider him coming back off his injury. You don't even know how he's going to come back off his injury. That's a big injury.
He's a GOAT on this offense.
And he might
right
be
now.
sitting out a quarter of the year on suspension. This is nuts, bro.
Steve, for one, I think our rankings are different. You're trying to rank these all time, like in the history of football.
Well, when I hear the
I'm
word
not
GOAT,
doing
it's
that.
greatest of all time, right? So at the position
I just
with the
mean
Chiefs, greatest of all
on
time,
the
we have
team
4 of those on the
this
team.
Season is a GOAT. No, you don't, because honestly, you'd probably put McDuffie in a GOAT category. You'd probably throw.
I don't think McDuffie is a
you'd
GOAT. Is he
probably
the
put
greatest corner?
Creed. It's not the greatest corner we've ever had. It's the best one on the roster this year. It's our roster.
I don't
are
know.
we
I don't like
talking
that.
about?
I don't know if that's the way you judge this. That's wild.
Well, if this is the case, then
starting to
Butker's
poll.
not the GOAT kicker of all time. What are you
The hell
talking
he's
about?
not.
Of all time, he's the best kicker ever to play football.
For the Chiefs, absolutely. Well, who's better? Someone's going to come and say, someone from 1940 is going to say, Jan Stenerud was the greatest.
There you go.
Like, no, I'm
I
sorry.
think we're talking about this specific roster, this specific year.
All right, I get what
And
you're saying, but
my
I still don't know
point
about it.
is, Rashee Rice, in the first 4 games, was on track. He was the leading wide receiver in the NFL, and the sky was the limit. And then when he got injured, our offense went to shambles. This kid is beyond valuable for this team.
All right. Well, I'll put the poll up, guys. So get in there and vote on that bad boy. 'Cause I want to know.
I think everybody is judging wrong considered to how I'm judging and how I'm judging this roster per.
All
this
right,
season.
man. That's what sure. Flapjack with the 20 bomb says jury out on every left tackle we got, including but not limited left guard, which we ain't even got one. So yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute, Flapjack. And then we got a freaking 50 bomb, Buck and Bob. Let's go, baby. Appreciate you guys. That's awesome. Off topic, but I cracked up at the troll in the chat last stream. Def a burner account from a sad and bad creator. How did they even know you were in Kentucky? I've known sad creators like that, and the dorks don't even realize that them doing that helps you. LOL. Hey, appreciate the support,
Appreciate it,
Bob.
brother. Yeah,
I think it's probably Bob.
That was a very weird interaction. I don't think any normal human takes the time to do that. But yes, with the personal jabs about why do people watch you, you're in Kentucky, Steve, that was a sour creator of some sort.
Well, I mean, let's talk about that for a minute. Let's talk about all of the Chiefs content creators. There's only one that I can think of off the top of my head that actually lives in Kansas City, and it's Cole lives in Lee Summit. But I mean, if you start going, like even Jason Dunn lives in the same state.
He lives in Kentucky. Steve, Marcus Dash, Virginia.
Right. Seth Kaiser's in freaking Minnesota, and everybody thinks he's a genius.
Ryan Tracy, Colorado.
Yeah, I don't even know, guys.
Maybe
That's a wild
Daniel
one.
lives somewhere
I don't know.
close to Casey. I don't know. Who cares where you're at, dude? Does that really devalue anybody's opinion and knowledge of football?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
It's wild.
Dude, I'll say this. Like, I think that there is something about being, a hometown fan. That's your team in your city. It's in your face all the time. That's what you grew up. Of course, we weren't even there, and we did the same thing, right? But it's like, I would be willing to bet, as a whole, there are more Kansas City Chiefs fans in this world that do not live in Kansas City than there are that live in Kansas City.
Would say that has to be true.
Exactly. So I think it's a crazy argument.
I will
Appreciate
also make
the
this
support, Buck and Bob.
Sometimes
Let's go.
when you grow up in an area, you are forced to become a fan, whether you want to or not. And outside, we made a choice to love the Chiefs this hard. Okay? So I made a choice.
No, we didn't.
I
Pops
wasn't
didn't
born
allow
into
that.
it. I made a choice to do it.
That's a lie. Pops made it. He said, get out of my house. Hey, appreciate the 50, man. That's freaking awesome. And then we got a 25 from the legend himself, Peter Ortiz. He says, Mike Lowe's is having a sale on paint. Go buy some and snip away.
I
Love
need
you,
to.
bro.
We just got the drywall done. We're getting ready to start painting the whole house. So I'm going to be sniffing the paint. I'm going to have to
Mike,
go
have
to
you ever
Lowe's.
seen that episode of Always Sunny in Philadelphia where Charlie is huffing paint?
He gets huffed.
So he's always
Yeah.
spraying the silver paint in the sock, and it's just he's got the silver paint on his face.
Yeah, and
That's
then
you
like
lately, bro.
doesn't even what's his name? The older Danny DeVito, doesn't he do it too?
I don't even know. That was a good episode.
Dude, that is
though.
one of the best.
Hey,
series.
Peter, appreciate you, brother. You're a legend. Hey, y'all put some legendaries in the chat for Flapjack, Buck and Bob, Peter, Kyle. All you guys are awesome. And Flapjack. Also, if you, by the way, before I get to Flapjack's 2-bomb here, if you haven't subscribed to Buck and Bob's podcast, go over there and do that. Takes a second. Just Google, or not Google it, YouTube search it, and hit that subscribe button. Flapjack with the 2-bomb says, I'm from Afghanistan and a Chiefs fan.
And a Chiefs fan.
He really.
I don't know if you're lying about that, but if you're not,
Afghanistan. Hey, you're allowed to be. We have our boy on here all the time, Mike. Henrique. He's in like Portugal or somewhere. Isn't that right? I can't remember. I might have said the wrong place. but-
Okay. Look,
Back to the
I'll
point
move
of
Rasheed
this
Rice
bad
to
boy.
valuable, but I'm telling you, I feel like he's
Mike,
sniffing it.
57 out of 59 votes. 59 votes right now.
I get it.
71% valuable. 29% GOAT category.
Look, I'm going to tell you, those 29% are
And in
very
the
wise, and that 71% are been
He's
smoking that same.
I think he is the number one valuable player on this roster.
Look, the only reason I say go is because I think at the positions, the wide receiver is a very valuable position on this team. We know it. And he is the best of the best on this team. The whole offense changes without Rasheed Rice. That's why I put him in the GOAT category for receivers.
I understand, but I just don't. I don't think he qualifies for a GOAT yet. I just cannot do it. Peter Ortiz with the 5 gifted memberships. Let's go, Peter. If y'all get one of those, make sure to thank him in the chat. Appreciate the support, brother. Yeah, I think he's the most valuable piece, right? Like if you're going the valuable category, Rasheed Rice is probably hanging on to this one spot, but we'll see. Let's keep going.
Okay. Wait, hold up. Copper Dijon owns y'all. Who's Copper Dijon?
Dijon. Like, remember those?
Mustard?
Remember the gray poupon?
I don't know who Joseph Heston is, but you know what? Let them be stupid and let me put them in the pit. How about that? Have fun in the pit, idiot. Here we go. Down on the board, let's go back to another. I think we got one more wide receiver. No, we got 2 more. Jalen Royal, Steve. I think he's got to
Jury's
go to
out,
the jury's
obviously.
out.
Yep.
But he's going up here around Brashard Smith area.
Yeah, sure.
We have
Go ahead,
one
go ahead
more
and get-
receiver.
Just for the
2.
sake of getting it out of the way, just go ahead and grab Jeffrey Bossa right there and stick him in the jury still out.
We'll do it when I get there.
Speed it along,
I didn't want to
okay.
miss this. Let's move on from Sky Moore. I think that was an easy one.
Wait,
right?
do we need to poll this one?
No, you
I
don't.
think. I'm just kidding.
You might need to poll this one. Justin Ross. Where do you put him, Steve? Take him or leave him or move on? Is it time to move on from, or is the jury still out on him?
Buddy, I'll tell you what. He is attached to Scott Moore at the hip on this one. Go ahead. He can go. Move on. I'm tired of hearing about it. You're not going to use him.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm ready to move on Justin
You're
Ross.
not gonna use
the
him.
fact that we're not willing to use him.
The fact that you would have Juju Smith-Schuster and Justin Ross in the same category is just blasphemy. So, Justin Ross,
yeah.
let's be honest. Do I think maybe he could be something somewhere else? Sure. But in Kansas City,
Yeah.
move on. We're not
in
going to use
Kansas
him.
City, I don't see it happening. So
Shout out Ron with a 10-bomb real quick. You guys can discuss that Justin Ross in the chat. I'd like to see what y'all have to say about it. But Ron has a 10-bomb here. Says, what's up, Mike and Steve? I bought tickets to the Christmas Day game at field level, but these prices just keep going up. The prices are insane.
Imagine, man.
I'm sure you had to take out a second mortgage to get that field level ticket.
Yeah,
I mean,
man,
it is crazy.
That's going to be a good Christmas, though, right?
Yeah, that's awesome, though. Hope you have fun, Ron. That's freaking awesome, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. Hey, I lied. We do have one more wide receiver. I forgot about Nico. He's right here. Nico, Steve, what do you like him? I think the jury's out on Nico a little bit. I don't want to say take him or leave him with Nico. I think he showed enough that I want to see more.
I think that Nico almost showed that he's valuable just in special teams last year, but he's not quite there yet. So I think the jury's still out there.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him get more reps at wide receiver and see if he can be a value to the offense. That would help as well. But right now, I think he's borderline valuable because of his special teams abilities, the return ability. But yeah, jury's still out on Nico.
So let's move on to the offensive line, Steve. Let's start with Creed Humphrey. A lot of people's going to say valuable. And again, I'm going to make the same argument with Rashee Rice. I think on this team, on this roster, he is a GOAT. He is the anchor of the line. And if he were to not be here and you had to go to a backup center, I think the offensive line gets even worse than it looked. And I make the same argument with Rashee. Not saying he's the best center to ever play for the Chiefs. Not saying he's the best center in football, even though he is. But on this specific team, I think he's a GOAT. I think he's got to be in that category. I would put him and Rashee in that for that same category.
I think you keep him invaluable, and I think he's like, what do you do? What's more valuable to you right now? That center or that wide receiver? That's where that comes. That's where that comes
valuable. But this is why I throw him in the GOAT category, because I think
he
is.
Because what's
here
easier?
We go with the same argument.
What's easier to replace? A center or get another like stud wide receiver?
Look, we watched our offense fall apart last year because Rashee Rice basically got taken off the field.
Was that really it?
It was a big chunk, along with the left side of the offensive line. So now if you pull the center off of that left side of the offensive line, you are screwed.
Mike, I'll tell you what, Creed's off of his rookie contract. They've already extended him.
Yeah,
and I'll put him in the I'll let Creed go to the GOAT category, but that's the reason why I would put him above Rashee Rice. I'll put him in the GOAT. I'll let Rashee Rice stay most valuable on the valuable category.
People are thinking that, okay, look, I shouldn't have named the frickin' category GOAT, okay? Because you guys can't get it out of your head.
No. I understand.
Do not mean these are the greatest of all time. I'm just talking about this specific roster. These are the upper tier players on our roster, Steve. The guys you wouldn't trade if somebody offered you a first round pick. You're probably not
right.
taking.
And I think Creed can fit into that category. I do not think Rashee Rice can fit into that category yet.
Would you trade Rashee Rice for a first round pick?
I would consider
number 32. If the Eagles offered you number 32 this year, would you have taken it?
No. I don't know about number 32. If you could get a decent first round pick for him, that's something to think about, though. But I think that's the whole thing is you still got to see with him because we've only seen one season. And let's be honest here, the only good part of his rookie season was pretty much the back half because he was still getting acclimated to the NFL, getting, its bearings about him. And then we saw him come out the gates hot last year.
What should I have named the upper tier here instead of GOAT? Because people are having a fit with the GOAT thing. Like, we can't get it out of our heads that it doesn't mean greatest of all time. Should I have just called it the most, the team leaders or something? Could that have worked?
Are you going to stop if we'll go ahead and allow you to put Rashee Rice in the GOAT category?
No, I'm just saying, like, I want to rename the category because obviously GOAT is offending people.
Sheriff says it should be GOTS, greatest of this season.
There you go. I'll go with that one. Here you go. Greatest of this season. There you go. That's what the whole point of the list was. I was not meaning to say that anybody was the greatest of all time. Because that's going to be Patrick Mahomes, and that's arguable with Brady haters. And then maybe
Travis Kelce is.
But I'm just saying, Kelce, that's going to be arguable. You're always going to get an argument here over greatest of all time.
It doesn't matter. There's no one here that's going to argue with us, Mike. All those slap nuts aren't here.
That's my point.
And speaking of guys, help get some slap nuts in here. Do us a favor. Hit the like button if you're enjoying the content, if you're having a good time.
I think based off his picture, Minshew's got to go to the GOAT.
Mike, just switch it. I'll tell you what. Just switch it to elite.
There you go. I like that.
I see a lot of people putting it in the chat. So make it elite. Put Rashee Rice in the elite category if it makes you happy. But see, I still would have him invaluable.
I think he's elite. Steve, in 4 games last year, he led the NFL on every metric.
Mike, do you realize if you go back to every season, if you go back to every season of the NFL history and you take out the first 4 games and look at the top wide receiver, you'd probably be surprised who was the GOAT in the first 4 weeks. I bet there's some ridiculous receivers that were the top in the league
Yeah,
after
but I don't
4
think he was
weeks.
slowing down, man. Rashid looked different last year. He looked like a man amongst boys out there. Now I'm throwing him back in the second category. You're just gonna cry a river, so you're throwing him back.
I'm not.
Let's go.
I'm not.
Let's move. We're at Trey Smith. Trey Smith's not on the roster right now, but I think he's in the valuable category.
Absolutely.
I think he probably is more.
He's a guard. It's really hard to
valuable,
put a guard in an elite category now, isn't it?
but I do think he's more valuable than probably like a Xavier Worthy. So
For
I'd
sure.
probably put him right in there.
Yeah,
I don't
like
think do you think he's more valuable than Rashee Rice?
No. I think guard's decently replaceable. I do love Trey, and I think he's excellent.
I don't know.
But I don't think he hits an elite category.
Okay.
So we'll put him valuable. And I think it could go either way as far as protecting Mahomes or having a really good wide receiver. You could argue about that, but I would put Rashee Rice above him one spot.
Okay. This one's going to be hard. This one's going to be difficult. Jawan Taylor, man, where's he going? Is the jury still out on Taylor because he's
No, he's good.
But you think he's valuable? Because a lot of Chiefs fans do not like him at right tackle.
Well, if you just go, if you
Some
set
people could say take him or leave him. To be honest, I bet.
well, maybe, but if you set
Or
aside,
let's move on.
if you set aside the fact that they picked on him with penalties for 2 years,
I get it.
if you put that aside and you just look at his play, he had a little bit of a slump in the middle of last season, maybe 3 games where he wasn't great. But other than that, he's one of the top right tackles in football. We can't undervalue tackles. We've seen what happened when you don't have good ones. So I think that it's only fair to put him towards the bottom end of the valuable. The jury's not out. I think he's a good right tackle.
Well,
It's
here's where I'll argue that one. A lot of people would like to just move on from him. Matter of fact, they're counting down the days till we move on from him next year because that's apparently written in stone. It's going to happen. A lot of people would say take it or leave it. You say valuable. I would put him still in the jury's out category, and this is why. He's good. He does commit a lot of penalties. He does a lot of boneheaded stuff in the red zone, but he is good at times. Can he get better for a third straight season? Will he justify giving him a 4th year, his final year of his contract? Does he justify us extending him and making him? Does he get better this year? And we're fine with him going forward. So I would put him in the jury still out. Like, can he get better? Is he going to continue being a bonehead?
well, sure. Okay, I'm okay with that. I would tend to lean towards valuable because
I think he would be the highest on the list.
I mean, according to Pro Football Focus, Mike, he was the 48th in the entire league, all offensive linemen in pass blocking. So, I mean, I don't know. I could go borderline here.
He
Let's
might be one to poll. That'd be fun.
Yeah, but we'd have to put 3 categories. Let's do that. We'll have a 3-category poll here. Let's go, baby.
You could probably do 4. You could probably put valuable, juries out, take them or leave them, and move on. You could probably put all 4 of those on there.
Okay, let's do it. Valuable.
And while you're doing that, I'll move on to another lineman. Let me see who's the next one on my board here. Okay, Jalen Moore. That's obviously the jury's out on Jalen Moore. That's just all there is to it.
Well, yeah.
We don't know, and I think he's an important one. I think he's probably the most important one after Jawan Taylor, and if not, he might be the most important one, right? Like, I think that's a big one in the offseason for Brett Veach. Did he hit? Are we going to have to go with the rookie? Did we waste $30 million? Like, Brett Veach and tackles are not panning out too well here. That's becoming his Achilles heel, isn't it?
Yeah. Sure. I don't know what you were talking about. I got the poll up, though. Y'all go vote on the poll. Who are you talking about?
Jalen Moore.
Oh, Jalen Moore, jury's still out. There's-
Obviously, but don't you
Yeah.
think it's an important jury's out? Like, he would be at the top of the list, right? Like, I think he's a little more valuable if he pans
Well,
out.
absolutely. I mean, that's the thing. You've had all this trouble at left tackle. It's the biggest need that you have. I think only doing one or the other would have been a disservice from Brett Veach. So I actually think signing Jalen Moore and drafting Josh Simmons was the move. I give my I'll take my hat off to Brett Veach on that one because I think you have to have more than one option when you had that much trouble there. At least now you can, throw a couple things at the wall and see what sticks. So I'm with you. I'd put him at the top of jury's out.
Okay. And then, let's see. Let's go on to some more offensive linemen. What about Kingsley?
Real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Got a 10 bomb from Lisa. Says just because. Appreciate you, Lisa. Thanks for the support.
Appreciate
That's
you.
freaking awesome. Y'all put some legendaries in the chat for Lisa.
Hey, let us know. Let us know if you like this episode, this kind of tier list stuff where we can all talk about this. Like, this is fun. We can do more stuff like this if you like it. Just let us know. We can always come up with some wild stuff like this. But
Yep. And then our girl Valerie with the 10 bomb says just stopping by and patiently waiting for the Chiefs. I think everybody's ready for football season. No one even cares about summer right now, bro. Would you all skip summer just to go ahead and get football started? Because I think I might.
I just think we
Summer's
should do
just
summer
hot and
football.
sticky anyway, right?
Look, here's what the NFL needs to do. They want to take over the entire world. They want to have everything a big event. They're talking about doing a draft lottery, for Christ's sake.
No. They cannot do that. It's
That's
absurd.
ignorant. But why don't they do sort of like a baseball thing and let these cities, let these cities have a sister city where they can put players that could be a practice squad player in and have a summer football program that was
okay with
sponsored by
that.
the NFL.
I'm okay with that.
So we can
And
have like a
just-
farm team for the Chiefs that plays during the summer.
And
That would
just
be
like,
sick.
just like a couple years ago when the Royals had the farm team in Lexington, Kentucky, I think that's where they could put them. And
Yeah,
then
put 'em in
you know,
Lexington.
yeah, I think that's it. I like it. But no, shout out Lisa and Valerie for the dono. Shout out everybody that's donated today. Honestly, those go a long way this month. This month we've had a rough time. Mike was out half of the month, totally just working on his house, trying to get it built back up after the flood. And these go a long way right now because this month's going to be a B1 for us.
Yeah, for sure. Bucking Bob with another 5 says, dude, I love this tier list stuff. I used to use this all the time with my gaming content. Yeah, a lot of people do like this stuff, but sometimes they
It's
don't
fun.
like
It's good.
They
I think
don't like the banter. They think we argue too
I think
much.
it
Lisa
causes-
says she likes to watch the argue.
I think it causes discourse, right? It causes you to talk about this kind of stuff. And you can play, the cool thing about it is like I can have it in my head like I think that so and so is a goat on this roster or whatever, but at the same time I can take the angle of they're not just to have the conversation,
Yeah, I'm with you. Nikki said it'd be too hot to go to games in the summer, so we got to put
Absolutely.
them all indoor. You got to put them indoor. I don't know how, but that's what we do.
Why not just kick it off right after the football season? Like
Kick
it
it
could
off
be
in March. Well,
Yeah,
you
that
got to
way-
have the draft.
True.
I think you
Yeah.
need it during the summer. You might just have to. You might just have to suck it up and just go out there in the heat.
Maybe.
I mean,
Let's
we
check
go
the
to
poll.
camp in the heat.
Thanks for reminding me, Nikki. I'm going to go ahead and end this poll. Y'all got about 10 seconds to get your vote in. Mike,
I
this
think
one's
it's going to come between
this one's-
valuable and jury's
This one's
out.
going to surprise
probably.
you. This one's going to surprise you here.
If I know
3,
Chiefs fans,
2,
Chiefs fans don't really
1.
like them.
Ding,
But
ding, ding, ding,
I'll say that
ding.
our fan base that watches All Chiefed Up is a little more football.
I think
smart.
they know the value of a good right tackle, right?
I do too.
35%. 35% say valuable. 33%
Valuable,
said
huh?
jury's out. 23% take them or leave them. And only 7% put them in the Sky Moore tier, so that's kind of cool. I would tend to agree with this exactly. I think it's very close to jury's out or valuable, but I tend to think he's valuable. He's one of the better right
Where
tackles in
does he
football.
fall in the valuable category?
Well, he's one of the better right tackles in football, Mike, and we've had a lot of trouble with offensive line, so I think it's hard to undervalue a good offensive lineman. Yeah, you can get mad about his penalties or whatever.
Noah
but
Gray.
sure, sounds great. I don't think that matters
Okay.
all that much, but yeah, he's right in the middle.
I
of
don't
that-
either.
the pack
It's
there.
hard to do. Okay, let's go on to Kingsley. What do you think about Kingsley? Is the
Kingsley,
jury
Sua
still out on
Mata'ia.
Kingsley?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Kingsley needs to go up here really high too on the jury still out.
Yes, because you
he's a
talk
guy
about
that you
Jawan
want to
Taylor.
pan out.
Big chance Jawan Taylor's playing his last season with the Chiefs.
Right.
They could look to redo a contract with him, something that makes more sense if they both want that, and I'd be okay with that because I do think if Jawan Taylor can get rid of some of the penalties, and maybe when the spotlight gets off of him, because it kind of took a backseat last year compared to the year before, when Collinsworth pointed it out all Monday Night Football, or no, it was a season opener Thursday night.
Yeah.
So I think as long as he can get that under control, I think he is a valuable piece. So we'll see what happens. But Kingsley, Wanye, a lot of those guys, they're going to be the ones that's going to go in that position.
Right. So Wanye, is the jury still out on Wanye, or are we in the take it or leave it with Wanye at this
Oh,
point?
jury's out. I think Wanye still hasn't got a chance to. He got a chance to kind of prove himself at left tackle, and he's just not a left tackle. But I do think he could be good at guard or even right tackle. So I'd say jury's still out.
Okay, we'll throw jury's out. Okay, so we're going to group these two together. C.J. Hansen and Hunter Norzad, our 2 picks from last year. Now, you almost got to go with jury's out. Some people would say, hey, take them or leave them. You can find backups anytime.
Yeah, and that's fair. I would say with Norzad and Hansen, let's go ahead and put them in the take them or leave them right now. I don't really care.
Okay.
I don't think that either of them is even in the conversation to win one of these guard jobs or tackle jobs. I just don't. I think they're years outside of it. And honestly, like you said, from where they got drafted, what they've been able to contribute so far, they're I don't want to say a dime a dozen, but
I was supposed to have Mike Caliendo on this list that he didn't upload. So he's not going to be on this list. But where would you put Caliendo?
Jury's still out. Or take them
or leave them.
Yeah, one of those two.
Okay.
I think that's the thing. People want to talk trash about Caliendo, but Caliendo was very valuable to us in a pinch several times. Like he really stepped up for the Chiefs when they needed him. We're talking about a UDFA that was start at left guard, and everybody was just mad because he wasn't perfect. And that's crazy to me. Peter Ortiz with the 2-bomb says a maybe pretty good tier. I think that's what the jury's still out tier is to me. Like that, maybe they're pretty good.
Yeah, maybe they're good, maybe they're not.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to defense, Steve. I'm with you. Let's make it a little quicker. Let's throw all the rookies into the jury's out. So Bossa, is the jury still out? Ashton Gelati.
I tend to think that this is
Noel Williams.
This is kind of where I fit in, Pepe. I think Caliendo's better than people think he is. I think like any time that he struggled, like people wanted to highlight that and be like, "Oh, we're losing because of Caliendo." No, that was not necessarily it. Caliendo.
We didn't talk about Josh Simmons, by the way. I found his picture, but he's going in jury still out for sure.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course. All right.
Okay, man. So that puts all the rookies in here right now. Just about all the rookies. I didn't throw every one of them on there.
Real quick before we move on, just give me 10 seconds on this, Mike. Witchy says he's no Allegretti, but Caliendo is clutch. And then Jack Crack says he misses Allegretti. Don't you kind of think they're one and the same, or do you really think Allegretti's better than Caliendo?
I mean, Allegretti actually come in and play some very meaningful snaps, and he done very well in the Super Bowl. So I would say
maybe a little bit.
I think he's better at this point. Like with his last year with the Chiefs compared to last year with Caliendo.
But is it not a similar story?
It's kind of similar. I think you got to give Caliendo more time to develop.
All right, fair enough. Let's move on.
Okay, Chris Jones. He's going to the GOAT. He's going to the elite category. Chris Jones is right up here with Kelsey and Mahomes. That's all there is.
Yeah, he's going to be right behind Kels.
Okay, so let's look more defensive line. Let's go to let's take Tillery. I think Tillery, the jury's out, right? We don't know anything about Tillery.
Absolutely.
Christian Fulton, I'll go ahead and put him in the jury's out.
Yep.
But I mean, he might be valuable right off the rip just because that moves McDuffie right down in there. But speaking of McDuffie, where you would put him? You would put him in the elite?
No, I think if we're putting Creed in the, elite. I think if you put Creed in the elite, that McDuffie has to be there as well. McDuffie's a top 5 corner in football.
Yeah.
By just the eye test, by statistics, by whatever. I mean, he's elite, right? So he's got to be there.
Okay, I like that. Let's go Nick Bolton. I think Nick Bolton's definitely valuable.
I think he's very high end valuable. Would I go elite with him? I don't think so. If I think about Nick Bolton overall with all the linebackers in the NFL, I think he's pretty damn valuable. He's one of the better ones to me, but he's not in an elite category.
Would you put him above or below Trey Smith, Rashee Rice?
Right there with Trey Smith is fine. Just maybe a notch above him because he is the green dot on our defense.
Rashee Rice is coming out to be the highest on the valuable category over, Trey Smith and Bolton, who just got
but I think that's fair.
Contracts here.
I think that's fair.
Well,
though.
not yet, but we're gonna see. Yeah, okay, I'll give it to you.
Where's Jalen Watson? Jalen Watson.
Yeah, let's get Jalen Watson.
I see him over there.
I see
his white hood on.
I think he goes in the valuable category, to be honest.
Yeah, I think so. I think maybe he can go up towards the front in a couple.
Yeah, I think he's up here, right here, next to Jawan.
I almost feel like Pop's getting shaded right now, but. No, let's put him right behind Jawan Taylor, maybe above Noah Gray. I don't even know if that's fair.
Here's the thing, though, with Jalen Watson. When he played last year, he was very good. He reminded me of like the Rashee Rice. What Rashee Rice was doing in the offense, he was helping our defense do that.
But then again, he is injury prone as hell. We've noticed that since day one. Also, how replaceable is he? We're going to see with Christian Fulton. I mean, if Fulton comes in here and outperforms Jalen Watson, and not saying that they'd be, battling, but Noel Williams will be battling with Jalen Watson for some playing time. I truly believe that.
I think the one guy that might be a little too highly valued right now might be the Noah Gray. You may have to push Noah Gray behind Pop.
Noah Gray behind Pop. Yeah, it could go either way. It don't matter. I don't think that valuable lineup matters all that much, to be honest. So I think we're okay where it's at. It's all right.
Okay, good deal. Let's go to let's see.
Steve-O. What's up,
We got
Steve-O?
Felix Ndikuzama. Is the jury still out on him, or are we have to take it or leave it? Where we at with him?
This is going to be his third season, Mike. So I say the jury's still out, but this is a critical year for him. You're going to have to get in. You're going to have to contribute. You're going to have to at least make people not feel like a complete slapnut for drafting you in the first round. Like, this is it for you. So I think it's a big year for him. Jury's still out. And if he don't have a good year this year, take him or leave him. Like, it's almost to that point.
Yeah, I think the jury's still out on him. Yeah, I'm right there with you. Let's just go down the list. Let's make it faster here.
Let's keep going, baby.
Cam Jones, linebacker. Where you at there?
Take him or leave him.
I think he's a pretty high take it or leave him, though.
Yeah, I mean, he's a very good special teams player. I think he could play in a pinch and do okay, but I think we know what we have.
Right.
We've seen him now for a couple of years. So
Okay, let's just stick with linebackers. We got Cole Christensen.
take him or leave him.
Okay.
Same reasons. Special teamer. Maybe could play in a pinch.
Okay. So let's see.
Jack Cochran would be the next
Jack
one.
Cochran, we could put the same, right?
4-3. Yeah, exactly the same. Like they're all special teams guys that could play in a pinch.
Okay, and then Drew Tranquil.
Drew Tranquil's valuable and Leo Chanel's valuable. Argue with the wall.
I'm trying to decide where I want to put him.
It doesn't.
It really
it's
don't
not
matter.
It's not a big deal.
Is Leo valuable just yet, though? He's not played a lot of snaps.
Leo's very valuable. Would we have beat the Broncos without him last year?
I mean, yeah, that's one specific incident, but I'm just saying, like, he's still yet to play 50% of the snaps.
Leo
on
is
defense.
still ascending. Leo is going to be an absolute
I'm
beast.
fine with doing it.
I would be very surprised if the Chiefs don't extend him because I still think his best football is yet to come. He's going to be a monster.
Right. Okay. Chamari Connor.
Jury's out. He's got this year to really show himself, I think. He's right there with Felix. Put him right beside Felix.
Okay. Okay, I'm with you there.
Now, the pressure's not on as much with Chamari,
Yeah.
but they did trade up to take him in like the
Right.
fourth round, which I thought was a bit of a reach. But so, yeah, he can be right there with Felix.
Okay, what about Mike Pennell?
Mike Pennell.
Jury's not out on Mike Pennell, that's for sure. So it's either take him or leave him, or he's valuable.
I think valuable. And the reason I say valuable is because we really need those run stuffers, and he's proven to be that guy in multiple Super Bowl runs for us.
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I would tend to lead him more valuable than take him or leave him, because if you took
Same.
him off the roster, it's not very good. Mike Dana.
Mike Dana, take him or leave him.
Wow, you're willing to take it or leave it with Mike Dana. So, like, if you're saying if
They
Mike Dana
paid
was
Mike
plucked from
Dana
this
too much.
roster today, you wouldn't care?
Man, I'm saying this as a Mike Dana fan. I love the grit he has. I love the way he plays football, and I think he's a good football player. But when they pay you the money that they paid Mike Dana, and then you didn't even perform well, you're take him or leave him.
Okay, but he's got to be at the top.
Yeah. And you know, you guys might disagree with me on that Mike Dana one, but that's just the way I see it. I mean, honestly, they paid him probably more than he should have been paid.
Well,
And then
I mean,
what did
you
he
can't really
what did he
put him-
contribute last year?
You can't really put him at valuable. I mean, because if he's not really, like, just for example, he wasn't on the roster this year, I don't think it would, like, ultimately destroy our defense, right?
Right. So, I mean, if you look at last year's stats for Mike Dana, after they paid him all that money, guys, how can I find this? I just want to see what he did for the entire season. Let me go back. I got to find this because I'm very interested. In 2024, after they paid him all the money, he had 13 games played, 3.5 sacks, 20 solo tackles. Is that right? Is that the right year? Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it is. So actually better than I thought, but for the money that they paid Mike Dana, if you're only getting 3.5
They got him
sacks,
on a pretty good deal, though, did they?
they paid him more than I thought they were going to pay him.
I mean, they were projecting him to get 17 mil per year, and I'm pretty sure he signed a 3-year deal for like 12.
Some people say the jury's still out. I think Mike Dana's a poller. Let's poll Mike Dana, and then we'll move on. So I'm going to put a poll up. Dana.
Okay. Well, while you're doing that, I'm throwing George Karlaftis in the valuable list.
Absolutely. That's not arguable.
George Karlaftis is definitely valuable. And George Karlaftis is going up here at the top. He's probably more valuable.
He's probably like a half second away from being elite. Honestly. Like George could arguably be in elite category with McDuffie, but I think there's a bit of a gap there.
I don't think he's an elite pass rusher in this league just yet.
No, but like you said, you're going by this roster.
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, that's why I'm saying.
And was he our sack leader last year?
I'm not 100% sure. He has to be up there.
So
what do you put Omenihu then?
Omenihu, the jury's still out. If you want to talk all that shit and act like you're the greatest, show it to us. Quit telling us what you're good at. Quit telling us how much money you need to make.
Because when he does come back and plays, like the defense
I would honestly,
better.
Charles Omenihu, and this is not me just saying it because he irritates me. Not even that. If I set that aside, I set all personal feelings aside, I still think Charles Omenihu somewhere and the jury's still out to take him or leave him. With the attitude that he does have, you got to show us something, man. You can't just tell us how good you are and how much money you should make. Show us, and this is his year to do it. So I would go.
So you don't think? Okay, so you think Mike Pennell is more valuable to that roster than the pass rush that Charles Omenihu brings you?
Yes.
You think the run stuffing potential of a 34-year-old Mike Pennell is more than the pass rush?
I mean, you could argue it all day, but I just think that he has more to prove than Mike Pennell. Because for what Mike Pennell does, for what Mike Pennell's asked to do, Mike Pennell's very valuable at that, and we've seen that.
I get it. But we've also seen Charles Omenihu
We've seen a flash.
Level.
We've seen a flash of Charles Omenihu.
So if you get that all the time, I guess he would be valuable.
And I'll be honest, we saw that flash. We saw that flash the season before last. Last season, he had all season to show us that, and he did not. So, I don't know, man. I would put him in the jury still out. Okay. We can poll that one too if we need to.
I'm fine
Dana,
with it.
I'm polling Dana right now. That was between what? Jury's out, take him or leave him? Or valuable? We don't think he's valuable.
No, it'd be jury still out or take it, leave it.
All right, that's what I put up.
Okay.
All right, y'all vote on that.
Malik Herring. I think we can move on from Malik Herring.
Oh, yeah. I mean, sure.
He's on the let's move on kind of category. Deion Bush, I think you could just about move on from Deion Bush. I mean, it would be take it or leave it.
I think take him or leave him's fair. If we're going to put Cole Christensen and Jack Cochran and all of them there for special teams abilities, I think it's fair to put Deion Bush there too.
Okay, I got you. Christian Roland Wallace.
Ooh, I like jury's still out. I want to see a little bit more of that kid. I think he could be valuable.
I think
potentially,
jury's out,
but we don't know yet. We don't know yet.
With you.
We did see a little bit of a flash there. Throw him by old Charlie.
Really matter. We're just gonna throw him in. I think Christian Fulton, though, jury's still out on Christian Fulton. I think he's got to be in the top tier because he's going to do a lot.
We don't know yet, right? We don't know yet. We'll see.
True. Jaden Hicks, man, is he valuable or is the jury still out?
Oh,
because
no,
we've seen some good stuff with him.
We know he's valuable. Every time he's on the field, he performs.
I think he's done enough in the small time that I think I will be comfortable saying that he's valuable going forward.
Yeah, I think so.
But what if he comes out and he struggles the way Brian Cook did this year? Then you look like a jackass.
Well, that's a possibility, but I think that Brian Cook, you can kind of put him in the same category because I think they have to be valuable this year.
And Brian Cook didn't get loaded into the system.
It's okay. Let's put them one in the same, even though I think that Jaden Hicks is a more exciting player with a bigger upside. Yeah. And, Brian Cook had to come off of a tough injury and stuff like that. He didn't have the greatest year, but there were times where he was good and very valuable. Had some interceptions and things like that. But I think that they have to be valuable for the Chiefs. They've moved on from Justin Reed. Those are your guys, man.
What about Mike Edwards?
Mike Edwards, I would say, that's a good one. I would go valuable just because of what I just talked about. I think that he gives that veteran leader in that defensive back room with the safeties. He kind of plays like Jaden Hicks, but an older version. And we did see him win a Super Bowl with the Chiefs, and he was very valuable that year. Patrick Mahomes even said out of his own mouth that he liked watching Edwards play, and in practice he reminded him of Tyrann Mathieu because he's always around the ball. So I think that
it's just weird for me to put Mike Edwards as a valuable guy coming in like this.
Well, is he not valuable though? I feel like you know what he offers because we've seen it. We won a Super Bowl with him playing a lot, like most of the snaps.
But we won one without him as well, right?
Sure.
So wouldn't that be like a take him or leave him kind of thing?
I don't know. This one's going to be.
It's a tough one. It really don't matter. I don't know. We'll put him on the back burner for a second. Where you
Andre said I just got here. Who is in the GOAT tier? Hey, plot twist, buddy. It's the elite tier. And he's going to see this later.
Yeah.
All right, man. I'm going to look at the poll. Y'all poll on Mike Dana. If you haven't done it yet, go do that. It's a dead heat. 50-50 at 37 votes. Y'all keep voting on that. I want to see what y'all have to say. Let's move on. I think it's okay. I think it's fair to put Edwards invaluable because I think we need his veteran presence back there. I do.
Okay, you're fine. I'll give you that one. Najee Johnson. I think the jury's out on Najee here. I'm not ready to say take him or leave him just yet. He showed some flashes and then he showed some struggles. Look, I think the jury's out with him.
I'll be the hater. I'll be the devil's advocate here. I think that what Najee Johnson offers you is the same thing as Deion Bush, Cole Christensen, Jack Cochran, Cam Jones. I think he's a special teamer. He's not going to be more than that. We saw that last season. He had every opportunity in the world, and he got cooked. He got cooked all season long.
Well,
I love his fundamentals. I love his speed.
The jury's still out on Christian Fulton at corner and Noel Williams at corner. He would be the third ranked out of those by far.
I think it's very easy to put him in the take him or leave him category, in my opinion.
Okay, I'll give you that. I'll put him behind Juju in that category.
Yeah.
Oh,
cool. Okay, we got two more.
Yeah, and one's Kareem Hunt. We forgot to do Kareem Hunt with a running back, so let's go ahead and do Kareem Hunt.
You know why? Because we all know he's valuable.
Kareem Hunt is valuable. You know, I like him, and I'm going to throw him in here.
He's got to go right in front of Nick Bolton, maybe, or right between Nick Bolton. I don't know if he's
that valuable.
Right between Nick Bolton. He is that valuable, right?
I think I put him like
over Omenihu. He's got to go over Omenihu. Come on, brother.
Really? Omenihu's in the jury still out.
Oh, I meant Jalen Watson.
Doesn't he have to go behind Pop though?
Yeah, put them together.
Is it more valuable? I mean, I think that the team looks a lot different.
Hey, Mike, I tell you what. Just because I think this is the way it should be, you put them right beside Pop, but you put them in the right position, please. Kareem Hunt's better.
Okay.
I'm not even being a hater. I love Isaiah Pacheco. Kareem Hunt's better running back. So
yeah, I mean, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Until his vision gets better. Okay, last one on the list, man, because they didn't load in two players.
It's okay. It's fine.
Talked about one earlier.
Brian Cook's borderline jury still out, valuable.
Yeah. Okay, so we got Josh Williams. Where's Josh Williams going? I mean, I feel like a lot of people was ready to move on or take him or leave him.
I think
the jury's still out with him.
Me too. I would not argue the take him or leave him. I would be like, okay, sure, I'll give it to you. But I think the jury's still out with him because I think that he got, for whatever reason, they shunned him big time last year. I think that if he would have got more playing time last year, I think he could have been almost as good as Jalen Watson was. Like, I think he's got similar skill set. He's got speed, length. I think the jury's still out there. I just don't know why that they refused to give him opportunities last season. Like, I don't know what that was about.
Yeah, I'm with you. So here
we go. I'll be honest here. I think that I don't even think it's a question. And once again, I might sound like a hater, but I think he's obviously a better corner prospect than Najee Johnson. But somehow Najee Johnson kept getting the starts over him and stuff, and it was weird. I don't know what the hell the problem was, but whatever. Super Dog says move on, too many penalties. Man, the majority of his penalties were special teams, and even if he is getting penalties as a corner, I don't care. Everybody loved L'Jarius Sneed. They thought he was the greatest thing that ever existed as far as corners go. And he had the most penalties in the entire football league. So, I mean, if you're playing corner and you're a physical... I mean,
he's also, like, at his top is a lot better.
If you're a big physical corner, you're going to get flags. And I'll tell you what, you guys are going to love Noel Williams because he's a ball hawk. He's very Marcus Peters-esque.
He's going to get some flags.
He's going to get a lot of flags because that's the way they play. So it's like that position, it's very hard to look at a corner and be like, he gets too many flags. Of course he does. The game's built to make him lose. It's made to make him fail. He has to do that. They can
If
call
I'm
it
not
almost
mistaken,
every
too,
play.
by the way, that is something that we kind of debunked. Because a lot of people think he got a lot of flags, but I'm almost positive it wasn't that many. Like at the end of it, I think it was only like 4 or 5.
Mike Bam
on
says
the
that he don't
season.
think Josh Williams could develop to a high tier corner. Do you believe that? Do you think that's
Well, what
out
do
of
you
the
consider
question?
high tier? He's not going to hit like Trent McDuffie.
I don't think he will either.
But if you think Jalen Watson's a high tier, I think he could develop to just
Absolutely.
what Jalen Watson could offer you.
I would agree with that. I think that they are one and the same, and maybe Josh Williams has probably more God-given talent than Jalen Watson does. Like
He's
as
a little
far,
bit more of a ball hawk. I'll give him that.
I think he's faster. I'm not for sure. I could be wrong on that, but he looks quicker. I don't know. I just feel like it's very strange. I don't know what he did to get in the doghouse last season, but we'll see.
It's all just the penalties. That's just people. That's just the one thing they wanted to knock. Here it is. His penalties last year. He had 6 penalties all season. 1 was declined. So technically he only got hit with 5, I believe.
Right.
And 4 of those were on special teams.
Right. Exactly.
So he had, 7 penalties, 4 were on special teams. He had 3 actual penalties. 1 was against San Francisco. 1 was against Tampa Bay. That was a bogus penalty, if we all remember that one.
Yeah, it was.
And
bad.
then he had 1 versus Cleveland, I believe. 2 versus Cleveland.
Yeah,
but I think
and
one of
here's the
those
thing: I don't even know if you can really talk about how many flags he gets. The fact that he was not utilized at all. Like I feel like he got severely undersnapped last year. But well, I think
Again, 282 coverage snaps. He scored an overall coverage grade of a 68.3. And if you compare that to Jalen Watson, again, who played the exact same amount of snaps because he ended up getting injured, Jalen Watson's coverage grade was, let me find his exact coverage grade. It was a 68.3. Jalen Watson was a 71.6. So only 3 points different per PFF on coverage grade on the same amount of coverage.
And
So
would it be
again,
fair to say that Jalen Watson had more time to settle in? Like I feel like he played more consistently when
Early.
he was.
And look,
healthy.
Jalen Watson had 3 penalties to Josh Williams' 6. So I mean,
Sam Lofton says Spag says Josh is dumb. What? He did not. He did not, Sam.
Maybe that's the reason, but I don't get it. I think he's valuable on special teams too.
All right. Well, that's that. Look at all them faces. I think that's fair.
So if you look at this though, really,
We gotta
quick
go.
to
We gotta go
wrap
in the
it.
poll on Dana though.
Yeah, in the poll on Dana. Let's figure out where we're putting him.
Jury's out. 54%.
Okay, so we'll slide him up to jury's out. We'll just throw him up here. Who cares? Okay.
I have a hard time putting someone in jury's out when they're on their second contract.
Yeah, that's kind of my point. I think it's
Yeah.
either take it or leave it or he's valuable, whichever one. But okay.
Yeah.
Okay, jury's still out on a guy that's been in the league 17 years. Steve, the elite category, this is top tier. We've got 6 elite players, and I'm telling you right now, you could make a case for the first 4 players in the valuable category to be in that if you want to talk about
Yeah,
our
I think
roster.
so. If you really wanted to argue it, yeah.
So you've got 10 highly valuable to elite players on this roster. One of the greatest defensive coordinators to ever do it. The best coach possibly to ever do it. This is why the Chiefs are always at the top of their division and why they're going to Super Bowls year in, year out. If you look at all these valuable players together, you've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 23 out of our 53. That's over half of our roster is valuable plus. Look at the jury still out category. You have got one.
The only reason there's so many
there.
there though is because of rookies and free agent signings.
And free agents, exactly. So you got to think about this. Charles Omenihu, by the way, could almost be in the valuable category if he could not be injured, right? Or be suspended and play at a higher level. Felix is a draft pick that's so close to just being one way or the other. So is Chamari Connor. So, I mean, it's one of these things. where if you look at that jury still out,
Fabian Levette would absolutely be in jury still out.
yeah, he would. So if you look at that, though, you've only got 3 guys that have a potential. And honestly, Malik Herring and Sky Moore did make the roster last year. I wouldn't think they make it this year, but I could be wrong about Malik Herring. You could honestly be wrong about Sky Moore. Andy Reid's got a soft spot, apparently.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that, man. Don't Mike quit speaking his name.
But look, the point I'm trying to make is you've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 25 players in the jury still out, Steve.
Hey, look, think about that. One of the guys that you have in take 'em or leave 'em is freaking Juju Smith-Schuster,
Right.
which is wild to me.
So out of 25 of the jury still out, if you just hit 50% of those, you would feasibly put 12 more guys in the valuable category, and we'd be over 30 plus players that are valuable on a 53-man roster.
Well, Mike, this really doesn't do anything. It just kind of gives you like a different look at the roster.
Yeah.
But like, if you had to guess, I'm going to go ahead and get Ron's 5-bomb after this. But if you had to guess, before you see the season play out, do you think what percentage do you think that this could be the most talented, scariest roster the Chiefs have had yet?
Well, doing this exercise kind of throws it into the corroborated category. I think we corroborated that this could be because of this. Again, if you just hit 50% of the jury still out goes to the upper echelon to the lower, you're over 30 out of a 53-man roster that's valuable plus. That's crazy. I don't think you could do this with any other roster. Maybe 2 or 3 other rosters in this league would even be close to being elite valuable that we have.
Yeah, for sure. Ron with the 5-bomb here. He says most of the fan base hates Josh Williams only because content creators and talking heads, but Nazi can get cooked every game though. I would 100% agree with that. I think Josh Williams is another one of those guys that kind of got in the bad graces of a lot of Chiefs YouTubers, Chiefs people on X, because you had like a couple of guys, that always have the end all be all opinion, and they're wrong 90% of the time. But yeah, he kind of got in that whole mess, didn't he? So you're right. And then Nazi Johnson gets a pass because people like him as a person.
I will say that people were on Nazi a little bit more this year.
More
at times.
Yeah, but you still saw
people
more hate on Josh Williams.
Josh Williams is kind of he's kind of like, and I agree with him. A lot of content creators jump on that. They sway the narrative. You'll get one person on Twitter that really don't have a clue what they're talking about, and a lot of Chiefs Kingdom value their opinion for some reason. Who knows why? Or just some random, I don't even know, just some random person that's never even held a football probably, but has a following on on X.
Looks like a South Park character.
I mean, there's plenty. I'm not even talking about South Park. You can pull out 100 different ones.
Woo-hoo. Hey, Jay Brown says Juju has value. Janae says Juju should move up to valuable. Listen, guys, I was going to put him in valuable, but we polled it, and you guys picked that he was take him or leave him. So that's where he's at, and it was all y'all's fault.
There you go. I threw him up in valuable for you.
Appreciate that.
But if
guys,
you get to throw him in valuable.
No, stop.
Let's go. Rashid's going to the elite category.
All right, guys. Hey, we appreciate you guys being here and getting in the chat and having some fun with this. It's freaking awesome. I like to do something different every now and then, so I'm glad Mike came up with this. It was a good time. Do us a favor, hit the like button if you had fun today, or if you just want to show support to the channel, hit the like button. We would appreciate that. We're going to be here for about 8 to 10 more minutes, something like that. So let's go Andy Reid on them, Mike. Time's yours. Y'all get in the chat if you have any questions. Or if you want to show us some love, whatever you want to do, put that in the chat now. We'll be here for a few more minutes. But appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. It's been fun today. I like seeing everyone's opinions. And that's a good thing about all the guys and gals that are in our chat. It's like they can have their own opinion and they can back it. And so even if you don't agree with them, you have to respect it, right? So it's been fun. But yeah, get in the chat. Get in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Put some questions, whatever you want.
I made a new category.
What was your new category? To the pit.
No.
Sky Moore,
Look,
to the pit.
Look, Sky Moore, he gets. Steve, a lot of people think we're Sky Moore truthers here.
That's so weird. Like they look, man. Can I touch on that for 1 second because it kind of grinds my gears.
Let's talk about that for just a minute.
It kind of grinds my gears. So if you go back and you watch our content, one thing we said about Sky Moore was that there's potential there, but we don't know if he could hit that in Kansas City. We don't know if it fits here. But the thing about it was, what we did do was say, hey, you all come back to reality. Sky Moore's going to make the 53-man roster last season. He's going to be on the roster. There's nothing you can do about it. Quit living in La La Land in your dream world where you think he's going to go and they're just going to cut him. And somehow that made us Sky Moore truthers. But Mike, if I'm not mistaken, Sky Moore was on the roster last year. So we get yelled at for being right. And I don't agree with that. I think that's bullshit.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from. Look, I thought Sky Moore could have done better than he's done. I'm going to be completely honest. The Chiefs,
he does bad.
The Chiefs, Brett Veach, the scouts, everybody has a hand in taking Sky Moore in the second round. And what's funny is we called that. We knew that they were on Sky Moore, and that was the year I actually called George Karlaftis in round 1 and Sky Moore in round 2. I hit
and
the nail
Trent
on the
McDuffie
head.
as a trade possibility.
And at the end of the draft, or just this past year, somebody used it against me. They went back and dug it up and said, you thought they were going to take Sky Moore. You wanted Sky Moore. You're an idiot. No, I told you the Chiefs would have drafted Sky Moore, and they did. I was right. It wasn't who I wanted.
Stop being right about things.
A lot of things come from
people
us.
Don't like that.
I said, a lot of our channel is we project what we feel the Chiefs will do, not our personal opinion towards certain things like that, especially when it comes to roster cuts.
We'll definitely throw out some bad personal opinions as well.
When it comes to roster cuts and draft stuff and things like that, we'll tend not to go with my guys. We'll tend to go with what we feel like the Chiefs will do. And Sky Moore was part of that. But I will say this. I did think Sky Moore could have been more productive. I still am on the same bandwagon that Sky Moore is not – he does not have as bad as hands as he does. I think he's in his own head. It sort of turned into that Kadarius Toney moment where the world piled on and he got out of football rhythm. I think if you give him a fresh start somewhere, if you put him in the slot, you pepper him like a Tom Brady would have, just in an Andy Reid offense, it's not working. So I'm ready to move on. I give Sky Moore, I thought you should at least give him 3 years before you kick him to the curb. But last year he proved that he's just not going to be able to do it. So get him out.
Oh, yeah, he squandered his opportunities, right?
I mean, now that we said that, he may come back in and kill it. Who knows?
I doubt it. Buck and Bob with the 5 bomb. He says, okay, let's get to know you guys. What's your top 5 favorite childhood movies? 3 of my top 5 would be Princess Bride, Star Wars Episode 4, and Spaceballs. So we're talking childhood movies? Man, okay.
Steve, let's name them together. But number 1, I think if you go childhood, don't we have to throw Sandlot in there? We love the Sandlot.
Sure. I think that definitely makes the top 5 list. Well, I
teen years.
Now let's just he said childhood. So, whatever. I think that number 1, without a doubt, whether it's childhood or teen years or even now, Happy Gilmore makes the list.
Happy Gilmore, and honestly, I think Billy Madison.
Billy Madison probably makes the list. Adam Sandler is the GOAT, guys.
Yeah, we were Adam Sandler. I mean, if you watch our content for 10 minutes and can't figure that one out.
Adam Sandler's a GOAT. He would be in the GOAT category. No doubt.
Sure.
But I would say
all those sports movies. So like the Mighty Ducks. We grew up watching the Mighty Ducks.
Look, bro, Mike, you're getting too general. We're picking 5. So for the sake of it, we're taking 2 Adam Sandlers because he's a GOAT. He's GOATed.
So, okay, you're just gonna pick 5. Okay.
Home Alone is a GOAT
yeah.
movie.
It's a GOAT movie. To this day, it's a GOAT.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? Home Alone 2 is probably one of the best sequels to ever be made. Because it's almost as good as the first one. It might be as good as the first one.
It may be the best sequel ever made.
Yeah, it's insane, bro. Another one, we'll stick sports, though. Major League.
Major League's in there.
Major League's got to be
Screw you, Joe Boo.
If you go by our most watched movies, which is, I think, fair to do here, we've just hit 4 of them. No doubt about it.
Oh, yeah.
If there's one more, and this one's debatable because there might be something else in there, but I'd say in our household, Austin Powers. Or
That's
Wayne's
probably
World.
high up there.
Yeah, dude. Like something
Or
with Mike
Wayne's
Myers.
World.
Yeah, something with Mike Myers.
Wayne's World would have probably been high on that list too.
I would. I'm gonna go Austin Powers just because Pops absolutely loved Austin Powers. So let's do that.
A lot of ridiculous comedies. And you see
Yeah.
why we turn into a-holes.
Hey, appreciate the 5 and the fun question there, Bob. That was awesome. It's always a good time. Man, there were so many good ones though.
Steve, we needed Joe Boo. Remember, we were going to get one last year to help revive somebody's career, and we didn't do it. Kadarius
We
Toney.
ended Kadarius Toney's career by not getting a Joe Boo.
Yeah, we said we were going to get a Joe Boo to help to Kadarius Toney get over his funk, and we didn't do it, and then he got axed.
Julia Gulia likes grandmas, boy. Let's go.
There you go.
Man, no, but we could talk forever about movies back in the day. Mike was hitting the nail on the head with like Mighty Ducks, Angels in the Outfield, Rookie of the Year,
Rowan
bro.
Garner.
Daniel Stern made a masterpiece with that. That dude's awesome. Yeah, there's so many. Tommy Boy, Black Sheep. I mean,
Beverly
dude,
Hills Ninja. Anything with Chris Farley was good.
right, dude. There's so many
Dude,
good
but then you could even
movies.
go even more old school. You could go back to like the 80s with like Eddie Murphy movies and stuff. Like we watched everything. We were insane.
Yeah, dude. There was a lot of good ones back then. No, they don't make movies like they used to, especially comedies. If you notice, no one gives a
and
rat's
Dumber.
ass
Jay
about
Freeze in the
Dumb and
chat
Dumber.
says
Dumb and Dumber. Yes,
That's a
right.
perfect one.
Hey, name a million Jim Carrey movies. He's gonna be on there too. The Liar Liar was great. Yeah, he had some good ones. Dumb and Dumber was the best though.
It was a good one. Do you remember the
All
Dumb
right.
and Dumber with Bob Saget?
Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah. It's kind of sad that Bob Saget passed. that was a dark day, Tim Taylor. It was indeed a dark day.
Yeah, Bob Saget was a weird dude.
Steve, you name movies. Give me your top 3 TV shows when we were growing up. What would be
Hey.
your top 3 that we watched?
Sam, let us have fun. Don't be the guy that always says this is supposed to be about the Chiefs. It's been about the Chiefs for 2 hours. Come on.
I'll
And
put
I bet
Chiefs
you
football in.
the players on the team probably like some of these movies we're talking about. So it's Chiefs related.
Steve, give me your 3 TV shows
3 TV shows off the top of my head. That's
that you
not
liked
fair.
growing up. I think number 1, I'm going to throw in the Wayans Brothers. I love that show. I think I probably watched that more than anything, dude.
Pops?
Marlon and Sean Wayans.
Yeah, they
That
were
was
good.
hilarious. With Pops on there, that's where Pops got his name.
Yeah, you could go like
And then going back to watch Friday.
man, you could go TV shows. There's so many, dude. You could go Full House. You could go Family Matters. If you're going childhood, let's just go top 3 favorite shows of all time, though.
all time, like
All
now?
time. Yeah, I could name 3 off the top of my head. Rip. Dexter,
You probably
Breaking
could.
Bad, Ozark. Boom. Best 3 shows ever made.
Ozark was good.
Yeah, don't at me, bro.
You're
Those are the
gonna, I
best
can't
3.
say mine because I'll get roasted.
What's he
So
like?
I'll just get
90210.
straight roasted. Sorta, but not 90210.
Oh, Dylan, Beavis and Butthead. Dude, Do America should have been on that movie list, probably.
Dude, Beavis and Butthead, the
Absolutely.
show would be on.
Yeah, absolutely. Beavis and Butthead's goated. All right, that's enough about TV shows and movies, though. We had our fun. We'll get back to some football real quick before we head out. We'll get back to football, Sam. We don't want to lose you. Mike liked Dawson's Creek. How did he
like
know?
Dawson's Creek.
Mike did love Dawson's Creek and the OC.
I like the OC was another one I really liked.
Mike, they're on to you, brother.
Dude, speaking of OC, Adam Brody, he was on there. Adam Brody is on a new Netflix show with Kirsten Bell where he plays a rabbi, and it's actually kind of good. I just finished that series last night. You should go watch it.
Brian Parrott, we used to watch Squidbillies like crazy. Rusty!
What was the meatball one?
Do
We used to
not
watch
touch
that one
the
too.
trim. Oh, you're talking about Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Yeah, we used to watch that all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Everybody likes talking about TV and movies. I guess we got to start a new channel. We're going to start the TV and movie channel.
We'll alienate everybody from that. They're like, I hate them because they didn't like the same movie I did.
That'd be great, though. That'd be fun. Yeah, man. Shout out About Time. Been a member for 14 months now. Since anniversary time. The Outsiders and Gremlins are it. I remember watching Gremlins a lot as a kid. Do you know what movie really freaked me out as a child? Besides Candyman and the obvious ones? Puppet Master.
Really?
I hated the little
I
Puppet
rewatched that a few
Master
years
things.
ago, and I really didn't love it.
No, and it's weird, and they creep me out.
I'm a big horror movie guy. Puppet Master's not on my list.
Man, hey, Bob says let him know if we might start a channel's movie or a movie and TV channel in the future. Man,
Should have
that'd be great.
Massive.
Who has time for
movie
that?
channel. I know, man. I can't even watch movies anymore.
Yep, yeah. Well, we appreciate you guys being here. It looks like everybody had a little bit of fun at the end here with the movies and TV. Y'all are going nuts in the chat. That's awesome. Just to get back to football real quick. After Kay Wayne been a member for 19 months and says Cheers, Friends, Taxi.
Classic.
Mike, you loved Friends, right?
Dude, I've watched the Friends series probably like 4 times. Front to back.
Dude from Cheers passed away like 2 days ago.
Which one? I love Cheers. That was good.
The big dude with the curly hair. I can't think of his name right now. It's evading me.
Oh, was it Sam? It was the mailman, right? What was his name? No,
One
it
of
wasn't the mailman. That was
one
the
of y'all
little
put
guy.
his name in the chat. Put his name in the chat. I know y'all know.
Norm.
Yes,
It was Norm.
Norm.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, he was the one that always hung out with the mailman guy.
Yeah, man. So that sucked. I remember, though, as a child, we always knew it was time to go to bed when Cheers came on or MASH came on.
Yeah, when I heard MASH, I was like, daggone.
It's bedtime. Cheers, it's probably bedtime. MASH, you're up past bedtime.
Dude, I kind of have trauma from that. Like, to this day, if I hear the MASH theme song, I'm like, dude, I got to go to bed.
Valerie's a Seinfeld fan. Seinfeld was pretty
Seinfeld.
genius.
It was
I
great.
loved Larry David. I don't like Larry David as a person. I think
Dude,
he's a
the Larry
complete slap
David
nut.
TV show on HBO was
But
great.
yeah, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Seinfeld, like he's good at what he does. Can't shade him on that. Let's see, man. Hey, look, Bob said, dude, when MASH came on, it was my bedtime too. I think it was just that age.
Dude, I have trauma from it right now. If I hear that, I'm like, God, I hate it, dude.
It's time to go to bed, bro.
It's the same way,
day's
like,
over.
if, like
Fun's
when we would
done,
go to school.
son.
When we would go to school every day, we'd throw on cartoons before we got on the bus, and it would always play Ninja Turtles and like Woody Woodpecker, if anybody remembers him. And they'd always do the mix-up with Chilly Willy, the little penguin. And when Chilly Willy would come on, we knew the bus was coming.
Yeah.
And dude, if I hear the Chilly Willy theme song to this day, I get a pit in my stomach like, dude, I don't want to go to school. And it's like, dude, you're 40. You're not going to school.
You know what?
And
You know
I'm
what's
like,
hilarious to
it's
think
trauma.
about?
It's PTSD, Steve.
When we were very young, we would have our parents wake us up early before school so we could watch G.I. Joe. You remember that?
Yeah. G.I. Joe and Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, bro. We would watch an hour of cartoons before the bus came.
And then it turned into
that's
just
when Woody
watching
Woodpecker.
Sports Center all morning, every night. We'd watch the same Sports Center on a loop all night long.
Yeah. You've seen it once, you've seen it 1,000 times. But we'd watch it anyway.
Stuart Scott.
Well, Mike, let's get out of here for the night. Appreciate you all. You guys are awesome. Thanks everybody hanging out, having some fun, talking about stuff other than Chiefs was even fun for a minute. It's nice to get outside and talk about personal stuff every once in a while. It's fun. You guys do us a favor, hit the like button on the way off if you have. And if you donated tonight or gifted memberships, you guys are in the GOAT tier. You guys are in the GOAT tier because you're helping us out. And we appreciate that. And if you're just here tonight and you hit the like button for us, same goes out to you.
Yeah, hit that like button.
You're in the
right
valuable
now.
tier. You're in the
Smash
valuable
it.
tier. You didn't quite make it to the GOAT tier, but you're valuable. No, I'm just kidding.
We almost got the 150 likes. I mean, that's not too bad.
Yeah, Pepe, we'll try, man. Kentucky's the new Tornado Alley. It's
I'm
wild
over it,
down
dude.
here.
I'm over
Yeah,
it.
it's getting crazy. Chiefer been a member for 21 months. Said, let's freaking go, baby. Let's go. Appreciate you, Chiefer. Appreciate all you mods, by the way. Julia Gulia, Chiefer, Ray. I'm Kay Wayne. I'm missing some, I'm sure. But appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. So appreciate that. Buck and Bob's is a great show. Appreciate you. All right, guys. Let's wrap it up. Let's have a good night. Go find you something good to eat and go to bed.
Have a good one, man. Have a good weekend, too, by the way.
Be on the lookout for some content. We'll try to get something out tomorrow on Friday. We'll see what we can come up with. Or we might just do a live stream
Maybe.
during the day.
Yeah, we might just have to do that. It's pretty late.
I might do another live stream tomorrow during the day. How about it?
Why not?
Y'all keep an eye out. We'll see what happens. And we'll see you next time. Go Chiefs.
Go Chiefs.
Get wild.